So, Kaya, the first time I feel like I met you was I bought your program, Bots for Business.
Yes.
It's how to use Facebook Messenger bots in your business and grow that through a system. This system is pretty interesting because we all know email open rates are pretty small, right? Do you guys know what an average email open rate is? What do you think? 20%. 20% open rates?
Yeah. That's being nice.
So, the thing about Messenger, it's nearly 100% open rate, which is pretty incredible. I wanted to get on this trend, and so I bought a program. I think it was $1,500 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And worked out great, really good. I started getting to know her though, and then I met you at Crafted Commerce, one of the giant conference. And so it was from that I started to realize why she teamed up with Scott Holford. She is the systems, operations, the best COO you could ever think of. And so when I started talking about systems, she's up in the back, she's lighting up. She's so excited about talking about systems. And so tonight, I know that you're going to open up a whole new world for us. Give it up for Katia Sarmiento.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. That was an extremely good intro, especially because systems are extremely boring and usually put people to sleep. So I was actually really excited that Austin talked about systems today. Quick question. Who here lives in Atlanta?
Woo!
I just moved here a year ago, and this is actually, you all know where I live now. I live here. And I want to tell you the story of how I got to live in this beautiful apartment. I'm on the 15th floor up in that taller building. Everybody can see into my apartment. It's kind of creepy. And, first I moved to Kennesaw from Miami, Florida. I moved to be with my boyfriend who was finishing school. Man, it was the best decision and also the worst decision I've ever made. Because when we moved in, I was doing really well. I was doing 6 figures in my business. I had a digital agency. I was helping people set up funnels and, like ConvertKit, ClickFunnels, all the fun stuff that we always work on as online entrepreneurs. And there was a point when I moved. I've always had health issues. I'm like allergic to life, which is like dust, cats, and dogs. No, seriously, like I cannot have lasagna with you guys or like soda or alcohol as much as you guys want to offer me alcohol. So I can't have any of that. And it's just been a string of health issues, and I've met a lot of entrepreneurs that have dealt with the same, but it wasn't that bad. It's not like cancer. Like I'm not dying. So it's like manageable. I could definitely run a business. I'm the same way. I don't want to work at a job where somebody's telling me what to do. Like I want to do my own thing. And so, cool, I have my online business, I have my digital agency, I have my team, I'm helping people. It's fulfilling, it feels awesome. And then I'm living in this new apartment in Kennesaw for a couple of months, and it got to the point where, I got so sick where I couldn't, my throat wouldn't, I couldn't breathe, and my throat was tight, and my right side of the body was in pain, and it was just so painful, and I had no idea what it was. So we rushed to urgent care, the only thing open at that time. And they gave me a steroid shot in my ass, which is not fun. You guys, not fun. And then they gave me steroid pills, and they're like, well, we don't know what happened. Cool. So I was just completely out of commission for the rest of the week, still numb, still in pain. And I had no idea what the cause was. And I went to a bunch of moving sucks, guys. I had to find new doctors for everything. I had to, anyways, another conversation. But no one knew what was going on. And so, I went to urgent care multiple times, got the same shot, got the same pills, prednisone, and was just dealing with that. And here's what happened. When I got sick and took a week off, so did my business, completely. And my team would be texting me, okay, but wait, this client is having a problem, what do I do? Okay, but this person just said this, and this just happened, and this just broke, what do we do? And I'm sick. If you guys dip your hands in ice for ages, I used to practice piano this way. It sucks, and your hands are numb, but just imagine your hands are numb and shaking and in pain, and you can't even touch your laptop. Like I just couldn't. It hurt so bad. And the business that I saw that I built up with all of my passion, all the people I was helping, obviously I was disappointing people, I was dropping the ball, my team was getting frustrated. People were like, okay, like what's going on here? Kat's sick, I get it, but I'm expecting something from you. You are a company, you are a business. It's not just about you anymore. And I called myself like like people say I'm a unicorn. People say like I systemize things. Like I have spreadsheets for like everything. You don't want to see them; they will overwhelm you. I have playbooks, but what I call standard operating procedures for everything. I've got Trello boards. Like anytime somebody wants to plan something, I like tried not to do that to you, Austin. Like doing a Trello board for this event, I let you handle all of that because I would have like totally annoyed you. And so it's like, you know, I had systemized everything except for I systemized things for other people, but not for myself. And I'm sure we all experience that. It's like you do this thing great for other people, but you don't do it for yourself, which is kind of stupid. So I learned my lesson, and we finally found out what was making me sick. It was toxic mold, and we moved in, and there was water damage in our bedroom. And it was actually a strand that I am specifically allergic to, which was great. So the moment I found out, we packed up our stuff and we hired ProMove. They gave us a list of 30 places. We picked 15. This was the first place I saw. I was like, this is it. We still looked at like 10 other places in a weekend. We signed the lease, got the keys Wednesday morning, had a flight to California on Thursday, came back a week later, unpacked our stuff, finally bought furniture because our other place was furnished. And, you know, why does any of that matter? Let me tell you another story. And this is the end of my agency. We were still in that apartment, still not knowing what was the cause of like the sickness. We didn't know about the mold. But I had realized that even if I'm not sick, you know, I created my business so that I could have the freedom to, you know, do whatever the fuck I want, basically. Come on. First of all, yes. Second, I want to help people. And I felt really constricted and enslaved to my business because I didn't have my systems in place. I didn't have my team. I didn't have my processes. I didn't have my fulfillment. I didn't have my marketing, my lead generation, my sales. And you know what? Instead of being a smart person and being like, let me set up these systems. Instead, who said I had a seizure, an entrepreneur seizure? I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing this anymore. And I stopped my agency completely. I fired my team. Well, actually, we were all on mutual terms. We were like, fuck this shit. Like, it's over. And we just all stopped. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start over. I don't care if I don't make money next month. It's not about the money. It's about the freedom for me. Who's in it for freedom? Yes. Yeah. So that is when I started Bots for Business with Scott Oldford. And the good thing about that partnership was he was great at marketing and sales and lead generation and absolutely sucked at systems. I'm great at systems, and I will set up systems before I even market to anybody. So the systems start being used. So, you know, it was a great partnership. And he would be like, hey, Kat. No, this is actually how it happened. We met, and I flew up to Canada, and it's like, we need to start something. We brainstormed like maybe funnels, because he does his like funnel thing, so maybe I do done for you funnels, or maybe it was like bots are so cool, let's do it. And I was like, okay. Next day Scott calls me, he's like, oh yeah, so I sold like $12,000 of a service that doesn't exist. Can you like set up the systems for that? I'm like, I got you. And within a week we had a full process for delivering a service to people. And Austin, I think you were one of the first people to actually go through. Did it feel like it was completely like new or anything? Like, did you know that we did not have that set up before you paid us?
No, I didn't. Actually.
Well, now you know. Literally nothing. Scott was like, you want this thing? And people were like, yeah. I'm like, cool. So I'll just set it up as we go along. And so I was so meticulous. I set up the processes. I set up like the project management system. I started hiring team members. I started just creating this whole scalable, sustainable business. And then I got the same allergic reaction, the same pain on my right side. I went to urgent care again. I was gone for a week, and it didn't matter because I didn't need to show up in my business anymore for it to continue to run, for it to continue to serve our clients, and for me to take care of myself. Because like, what's the point in business? Like, if you keep showing up and you keep hustling and you work all the time, and yes, it is really stressful, but there like comes a point where you need to be realistic and be like, how long am I going to be able to sustain this myself? Think about it. If you're not doing your morning routine, if you're not taking care of your health, if you're not being with your family. There was a time where like my boyfriend and I would barely hang out because it was all business all the time and it was all work all the time. I am so happy. I say I retired him at 21 because I'm like, dude, don't ever work again. Just play video games and hang out with me. I'm like, I'm good. That's all I want to do. Because it's like, yeah, I love working. I think we all love working. But there comes a time where you hit that point, and I work with a lot of 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs, and I see this over and over again. I either see they hit that point where they can't grow their business anymore. I'm like, well, hello, it's because you're the bottleneck of the business. And you need to step away. You need to get out of your own business. And people hate hearing that. They're like, dude, but I love my business and I love what I do and I love the hustle. I love working. I love traveling. I love speaking. and I'm like, dude, yeah, but you're just going to burn out. Realistically. I've seen it time and time again. Or they come to me at the point where it's like, dude, I'm so tired and like I thought this was what I wanted, but now I don't know anymore. Like, is this really what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? Like, what's next? And I don't think it's because they've lost sight of their purpose or their mission or they aren't fulfilled anymore. I just think they led themselves to burnout without taking the proper steps to set up the systems, both in your personal life and in your business. You have to think about both. And so I talk about systems, and people ask me if you were to come into my company, what system would you set up for me? Tell me, I want to know. Here's my answer. What are you complaining about on a daily basis? What do you talk to your team members about that keeps breaking, that keeps leaking, that you're just frustrated about? You're like, oh shit, this is really stressful. This keeps happening. What do you say behind closed doors to nobody else? Take the time to actually look at that instead of being like, oh, I'm just going to put out the fire. I'm just going to cover it up. I'm just going to do what I can right now. Actually sit down and face it head on. What is it that you complain about every single day? Because you can probably do something about that right now. And for me, it was my health. It was as simple as having a morning routine. I literally created a spreadsheet and printed it out. And now I fill out, okay, my morning meditation, my meals. You guys met my home chef here because without her, I would not be eating because I got like a 3-page paper of all the things I cannot eat. It's bad. So it's like my meals, my shake, my supplements, which is like a page long of, I take 17 pills in the morning and the nighttime each time. Yes. Finding the right doctors, and now here's the other thing that I have my clients do that they absolutely hate me for. I give them the same spreadsheet and we set up their own systems. So when they ask me what systems would I set up for your business, I go in and I see what are you complaining about all the time? Now, what are you going to do about it? What are we going to automate? What are we going to systemize? What are you going to focus on? What are your team members going to do? Who are we going to hire? And what routines do you need to have? And so mine was health, and I have this spreadsheet. And so let's say today I didn't meditate. So on my spreadsheet, I'll write my excuse. I didn't have time. Okay, but I use the Headspace app. It only takes 10 minutes. Okay, well, they just came out with these daily meditations that are only 3 minutes. So is my excuse really valid? I don't have 3 minutes today to meditate. You don't have 3 minutes to go out for a walk. You don't have 5 minutes to hang out with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your spouse or your kids. You don't have 5 minutes to look at the bottleneck of your business and be like, shit, that's a big problem. What am I going to do to fix it? And sometimes, that requires you making a change. Sometimes that requires you hiring somebody. That requires setting up a tool. There's so many different options, but the key thing that I see people miss is just that clarity. It's so simple, you guys. It's so simple, and we just miss it. It's so basic. Get clear on what really matters to you. Did you create this business so that you are a slave to it, that you're working 24/7, that you're stressed out 24/7, that you have to do all things and be responsible for all things? Like, yes, there is going to be a point in business where you're responsible for a lot of shit, but that doesn't mean that you can't take that ownership and be like, you know what? This is the system, this is the structure I'm going to set up in place for myself so that I am successful, my team is successful, my family is successful, my kids are successful. Everybody has success and peace and confidence and freedom and creativity and flow, because when you set up systems, that is exactly what happens. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I know tonight has been super actionable, and like I've been taking a ton of notes, and like we've been recording, so I want all those recordings as well. But you can't take action from a place of chaos.
That's tweetable.
Now I'm Marie Forleo, thank you. So, first action step is get clear. Get clear on what matters to you. Get clear on where you're at. Get clear on where you want to go. These are really simple questions. All of the breakthroughs that I've seen my clients have is when they have sat down. I've had to sit them down, really, because when people hear systems, they're like, no, fuck that. Okay, I don't want your systems. I don't need this. We sit down, and I literally just have them journal. And I have them do stream of consciousness, and I just break down the barriers and just keep asking why, what, how, what is it? What is it that you want? Why did you create this business in the first place? And have you lost sight of that? It's just these questions that you need to ask yourself at every step of the way. It doesn't matter if you've made $1 or $100,000 or $1 million. You're always going to be needing to ask these questions, and you're going to need to keep scaling up and hitting that next level, like conquering that new challenge. And it's going to first require that you take a good look at yourself and what you've been doing, and then setting up those systems. And once you have that clarity, those systems are just so obvious. Like Austin was saying, you start writing down. It's because you're getting clarity. It's like, this is how I do this. Do I like it or not? No? Let me change it. Is this going to be easy for somebody else to do? Not really, right? And so back to my story, I had these allergic reactions. The first time I took a week off, my business took a week off, and I wouldn't make money. The second time I was like, I am building this business with the vision that it is going to be sustainable and scalable. And if I get sick, that's not going to be a problem. I'm not going to be the bottleneck of this business. I'm not going to allow my health issues or my personal issues to stop the growth of this company. That's what I vowed. And I made it happen. And I set up the systems, I set up the team, I set up the structure. And we made 6 figures in less than 3 months. I had literally just made 6 figures the first time, the previous year, because with health issues, you're half working, half not. I'm just half making money, half not. And so with those systems, I grew so fast. And it was my level. It was my level of okay, now I hit 6 figures, now what's next? This happens at every level. And it was so freeing to be able to get sick and be like, you know what? I'm just going to take care of myself today. Yeah. Because we come first. And if you are sick, or if your family is sick, your spouse is sick, or if anything, life happens all the time. We have to expect it. If you're at a speaking engagement and your team can't reach you and something happened, what the company stops all of a sudden because you're out speaking, So the biggest thing that I want you guys to take away from this, systems give you freedom. And if you're feeling like you're constantly putting out fires and you're in this chaotic mess and you're constantly stressed, whether it's business or personal, take a good look at what's going on and set yourself up for success. Take a look at your personal life. Take a look at your goals. Take a look at your vision. Take a look at why you started this in the first place. And is that what you're doing right now? And if it's not, you need to do something different, because that's not going to last. And you might get all the money, all the success, all the fame, the audience, like all of that stuff, but that is not going to last, and you know it, you feel it. You feel it in your gut that this is just breaking you apart. And so if you want some specific systems without overwhelming you, because I can talk, this is a whole other 2-hour conversation. Morning routine is really important. And it's as simple as, I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes, journal for 5 minutes, work out for 5 minutes. Who knows a miracle morning? 10 minutes. There's no excuse. Do your morning routine, and then set your to-do list for the day before. When you have time at night to think, okay, here's my to-do list tomorrow. Is this my zone of genius? Is this what I want to be doing? Is this something that I have to even be doing? Could it be done better? What am I really going to get out of this to-do list? Am I going to serve people? Am I going to have more freedom? Am I going to create something I'm really passionate about? What's the point? Keep asking yourself, why? What's the point? If it's not about money anymore, what's the point? If it's about service, what's the point of serving these people? If it's about freedom, what's the point? What freedom? Get specific, and then make sure that your actions and your to-do list and your daily, day-to-day activities align with that. Because if it doesn't, you have the chance to realign yourself right now. And it just takes pausing for a moment. And trust me, dude, I am a hustler. I am constantly working. I am literally like the only person that can spend all day working on systems, showing up at team meetings, setting up the project management system. I get excited about this shit. It's really crazy. And even I have to take a pause and be like, okay, what's the point? What's my purpose? What am I here to do? And what's in it for me? What's in it for others? Am I taking care of myself? Am I taking care of my business? Is this going to last? So take a moment to just think about that. And then you'll be clear, and you could take steps, you could take your actions, you could find your mentor, you could do your morning routine. You'll know exactly what the next step is, and you'll be on your way to success. And not a success that I'm defining for you. It's a success that you're defining for yourself. Because each of us has a very different version of what success means to us. Thank you. And so I can go on and on about systems, but I know it's about time for us to close out. They were not happy that we did this whole thing. They were like, what are you guys doing bringing a bunch of entrepreneurs to... But you know what? A bunch of entrepreneurs live here. So if you guys want to move here and be my neighbor, be my guest, and then maybe they'll be a little bit happy. And I'll make an affiliate commission from that as well. And now that you all know where I live, I better see you visiting. Ben is couch surfing right now. I have my couch booked through the end of the year, but you could still visit me. I got January. All right. I got you. So, thank you so much for coming out. It was really great to meet all of you. And if I still haven't met you, come up to me. It was just I'm not an event person. I'm a behind the computer systems person in my bedroom all fucking day long without a social life. So come up to me. Huh? Thank you. Dude, I did not plan any of this. Apparently, I'm a good speaker. No, like Austin's like, you want to talk? I'm like, I'm a really technical talker. Dude, I saw you, like, you're a visual person. Like, you need your PowerPoints. That's the only way you can explain it. I know. I'm the same way. I'm, like, very technical. I'll get you a projector next time. I'm sorry. But, thank you. Like, come up to me, introduce yourselves. Like, I want to meet each and every one of you, especially if you live in Atlanta. I want to hang out. And, just from the bottom of my heart, I want to see each and every one of you succeed in the way that you want to succeed. And I come across this all day, every day, that, like, systems sucks. I hate systems. Systems are going to enslave me. Systems just, But it's actually the way to scale and to grow and to build a sustainable business and a sustainable life. So, thank you. Can I come up? What are we doing for cleanup?
All right.